my wife, 41F, and I, 40M, have been together for 15 years and have a child together, 5F. Before we met, she was friends with KC, 44M, with whom she also had occasional sex. She cheated on her last boyfriend with him before their relationship was over, something she mentioned once and that I had since forgotten. The reason she ended their friendship was that the last time they had sex, he didn't pull out, and she had to take plan B. She was mad at him for that and decided to cut him out of her life. That happened fairly recently before we met, and when she and I started dating, she was still in the process of clarifying to him that she didn't want anything to do with him anymore. Cut to now, she recently reconnected with him through another friend, and they have been spending an unusual amount of time together. Her friend pulled her into some sort of crypto thing and is currently teaching her and a couple of other friends everything about crypto investments. She wants to learn all about crypto investing and is attending his boot camps, but in addition to that, she also hangs out with him, taking walks and spending time on the phone with him. I made it clear early on that I found it a bit weird that she went from I don't want to see him anymore to suddenly spending so much time with him after 15 years, going from 0 to 100 real quick. However, she doesn't hide him. She tells me when she hangs out with or sees him and has so far been open about their interactions. He has 3 kids and is married. Things came to a head today when she announced she was going to go out with him again, after last weekend when she said she'd be going for a walk with him at night for an hour but ended up spending at least 4 hours with him, taking a walk and losing track of time. I told her in no uncertain terms that she is a grown woman, but the intensity of their contact is worrying and making me uncomfortable. I also made it clear that if I felt this relationship became inappropriate, I would end things with her at the drop of a hat. She knows I have been cheated on in the past and that I have a zero-tolerance policy toward cheating and cheaters. I despise it and have never done it myself. She's upset now and is currently outside in front of our house talking on the phone. I assume she's talking to him. Meanwhile, I'm looking after our daughter and her friend. Update 4 hours later. Not sure how I'm allowed to participate in this conversation, such arbitrary rules on this sub, but we just had another argument before she walked out to meet him. She put our daughter to bed, and before she left the house, she wanted to talk. She defended him and their friendship and asked why I didn't have a problem with her other exes. I've met 2 of them, and they're both stand-up guys. She does hang out with them occasionally, but I'm not worried about them. I told her this is different, that context matters, and that I really don't understand why she thinks it's appropriate or even acceptable to meet with a former FWB and spend so much time with him. I brought up that she cheated with him, to which she corrected me, saying it was someone else she cheated with on her last boyfriend, some guy with a similar name, whatever, and that they only had sex in between relationships. Then she stated that they talked out what happened between them regarding the unprotected sex, but that I wasn't willing to hear it, because I told her I don't want to hear anything about the guy since I don't like him. At this point, I got pretty angry and asked her if she was really discussing past sexual encounters. She said yeah, it had to be talked out. We went in a few circles after that, but basically, it was the same stuff. I don't think it's appropriate, I'm not comfortable with the intensity of their friendship, and I made it clear that the moment I feel she's not being truthful, I'm walking out. I also reiterated my point that she's a grown woman and can do what she wants, but she isn't free from the consequences of her actions. In the end, she stood there with tears in her eyes and a look of contempt I've seen before, when she's about to lose her crap, but she kept her cool and said she's going off to see him. She tried to kiss me goodbye, and I told her no. She then walked toward the door, ranting about me being unreasonable, and I told her again that she's a grown woman and can do as she pleases, but she needs to be ready for the consequences of her actions. She slammed the door shut and drove off. I guess we'll see what happens when she comes back. Commenter. When she stormed off to meet him while having an unresolved discussion with you, she showed you who and what are more important to her. To be honest, if you let her come back home and share the bed with you, she knows she can do whatever she wants. It's up to you to show her the consequences of the decisions she makes. Currently, she is walking all over you because that guy and spending time with him are more important to her. Say, is his wife aware of their past friendship and the fact that they are now spending so much time together? Op's response. Yeah, they know each other and used to be friendly. His wife actually used to be good friends with my wife, apparently, but they lost touch after we moved away for a while. His wife only married him years after that FWB thing happened, even though she already had a kid with him or something. That's at least what I remember. I don't have any contact with her. It's all a bit convoluted. I'm a very different person from my wife. She has tons of friends, I only have a couple. She's very social, I'm not, etc. About the possible cheating, yeah, I'm upset, but I also feel a bit numb about all of this. Just exhausted, I guess. Anyway, we won't be sharing a bed tonight. I'm going to watch a movie and sleep in the guest room. Commenter. So, she's cheated on you before? At least, that's how I'm interpreting this. If so, you just need to cut her loose while you're still young enough to build a life with someone else. Op's response. No, she never cheated on me, at least not that I know of. This behavior of hers is not totally out of the norm for her, meeting friends, even male ones, and I've never had a weird feeling about it. It's almost never new people, but rather people she's known longer than me. Generally, I'm not a very jealous person. The current issue, on the surface, is only a little different, obviously. She's known him longer than me, normal, she meets up with him, usually also normal, and they used to sleep together way back, alright, weird, but she's friends with exes. The problem I have is that she cut him out of her life and is now pulling him back in, and she went from 0 to 100 in terms of contact within only a couple of weeks. Second update 1 month 2 weeks later. This is an update to a previous post I made. I still get DMs here and there, so I thought I'd give everyone some closure on this. Nothing too exciting. After she ran off to meet him at some bar, she came home around midnight. I was still up, watching something on TV. I looked over at her, and she looked unsure. She sat down at the end of the couch where I was sitting and said she was sorry for getting so angry. She met with him, and they talked about the situation. Apparently, he told her that I was right and that it is weird they were spending so much time together. She also called a few friends to get their opinions. They mirrored the same sentiments, that it's hard not to think of this as at least an emotional affair. To be honest, I was still beyond pissed. And hearing that she only came to realize it when other people told her it was inappropriate, not just me, didn't help. She explained that she is learning something from him that's giving her a new lease on life, and to her, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to finally start contributing financially and acquiring the skills to generate a bigger income. He is apparently a quite successful day trader and has been teaching her and a group of other people how to day trade in extreme detail. She insisted on showing me what she was doing, so I let her chew my ear off for an hour about day trading, showing me her programs, charts, indicators, and all that, ranting about financial markets, etc. She's learned trading with leverage and other stuff I have no clue about, but it amazes me that a woman who is too ADHD to read boring government forms, gets overwhelmed with simple adult stuff like communicating with municipalities or banks, and hates math is diving headfirst into something as complex as crypto day trading. Still, she seems surprisingly knowledgeable about all of this, and knowing how long it takes her to grasp things she's not interested in, I was impressed. However, she was still defiant about the whole spending an inappropriate amount of time issue. I told her she needs to cool it with the contact, but I won't stand in her way of learning something that she feels is a major opportunity for her. We agreed on ground rules: no evenings or weekends, no phone calls past 6 p.m., and no one-on-one meetings, only group settings. She's been stretching these rules now and then, but she's largely kept to them. When she needs to bend them, she speaks to me beforehand and gives me ample heads up, though she hides her resentment about having to follow these rules. Still, she seems to want to keep the peace for now and is being proactive. Things have cooled down to a degree where I don't get angry anymore every time she mentions him. Anyway, other than the fact that she now thinks she's a pro and a future millionaire and constantly talks about trading, it's been bumpy for other reasons outside of this weird friendship. Her trading talk is annoying as hell, and I still think she's got a little crush on her big trader hero. I've grown a bit distant over the last couple of months because this whole situation has emotionally drained me, but we are keeping things going. I know this is not the dramatic cheating and infidelity story some people were expecting. It's a pretty severe, rough patch in an otherwise normal relationship. She's not cheating on me physically, I think, though she might have a crush, which happens in a long-term relationship. I have other crap to deal with at the moment, and I just can't expend the energy to obsess over this every day for hours or fight it into a dramatic my way or the highway conclusion. I don't want to blow up our marriage just to satisfy other people's personal convictions on how a relationship should be. It's crap right now, but it's our crap. My instinct tells me it's a passing fancy, and if things go sideways, I can always walk out. This will be my last and only update. Commenter. Op would have been better off if she was cheating on him. Crypto and day trading with leverage, oh boy.